Hello and welcome to the WBAP 820-570 KLIF Weather Podcast for Thursday, February 9th. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton from the Cumulus Media Center in Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, before I forget, after having to skip 2 years during the COVID pandemic, WeatherCon is back. Now, what's WeatherCon, you ask? Well, WeatherCon is Saturday, May 6th, this coming May 6th, at the Frontiers of Flight Museum next to Dallas Love Field. It runs from 10 until 3, and it's entirely devoted to North Texas weather and people who love to talk about the weather. We're going to have storm spotters and storm chasers along with their special vehicles and equipment. We're going to have some stage presentations with the videos of recent violent storms. We're also planning a special presentation by one of the meteorologists who discovered what caused the Delta 191 crash at DFW Airport, exactly what caused it, and in fact what caused crashes elsewhere in the world about every 18 months prior to that time. And since they've learned what they've learned out of that crash in 1985, the skies have been a whole lot safer. You're going to meet him. You're going to hear his story. Now, WVAP and WFAA are co-sponsoring WeatherCon, so you will meet some of your favorite WBAP personalities, and Channel 8's Pete Delkus and I will be on stage taking your questions live during the event. So save the date, Saturday, May 6th, at the Frontiers of Flight Museum. And admission there will be free all day long while we're there. Okay, well, let's get to the weather. This morning's satellite loop shows some areas of fog burning off. You notice it's not moving, it just kind of burns off. It just disappears. And notice the lateral line of clouds and fog along the Red River. That was freezing fog in southern Oklahoma and around Gainesville, Sherman-Denison area. Even had some freezing fog as far south as Denton this morning, but certainly not the magnitude of the 6-hour freezing fog disaster that we had in DFW last Friday morning. It was 28 degrees, which was just warm enough to keep the surface roadways ice-free, but all the elevated roadways and bridges and flyovers were totally glazed over in a thin layer of black ice. We will never forget that. That's the worst traffic jams we've ever had. One other thing on this satellite loop, looks like a little snow moving into the Panhandle later today. Here's the national radar view. Rain and snow from Iowa and St. Louis all the way through the Great Lakes, all the way over to Boston, so that's covering a wide area. A few scattered showers and storms in the deep south for now. Scattered snow on the eastern slopes of the Rockies, and some of that's moving into the Panhandle. Also a little rain moving into the Pacific Northwest. Now here's what's happening in the upper atmosphere. Right at the beginning of this loop, you can see the upper level storm that's producing the rain up in the Great Lakes, and it's actually, there's a minor disturbance down below that storm system, kind of pinches off and gives the south another round of showers and storms, pretty good round of showers and storms this weekend. Now, while the storm system producing the rain in the Pacific Northwest is going to dig down the California coast and give us in North Texas our next chance of rain early next week. Now, here's the same model that's looking at the surface, at actual precipitation from today through the weekend. And you see the rain off the coast of Baja, Mexico will be our next rainmaker. So let's page on through our weather maps now. Here's the weather map for 6 o'clock Thursday evening. Snow in the Panhandle, snow extending out over Iowa and Chicago, heavy rains in the deep south, and new rains moving in on Seattle and Portland tonight. And don't miss that little snow in the Panhandle there. Now we move on to midnight, and the snow crosses into Oklahoma, but all we get in North Texas just be a dry cold front. But you get just across the Oklahoma line, could well be some snow up there along I-35. We will have some chilly weather here on Friday with some snow as close as Gainesville on the Oklahoma border. Heavier snows with strong storms over the south. Routine snow, including lake effect snows in the Great Lakes. And our next weather maker is still just raining on the west coast a little bit. Now, Saturday should be a beautiful day in Texas, still kind of chilly. The rains in the south are still having a hard time moving offshore because of a high-pressure cell in the near Atlantic kind of blocking it. Sunday looks pretty good here, but the heavy rains in Florida start moving up the eastern seaboard. They got to go somewhere, and we will start watching the subtropical Pacific storm front that is moving across Mexico there in the deep southwest. Monday looks a bit rainy here, with that southern storm system starting to pick up some Gulf moisture, and we might be looking at a near-miss nor'easter just off of New York on Monday. Now, by Tuesday, lots of rain in all but far west Texas, and a new storm front taking shape up in the Rockies. Now, then on Wednesday, the storm systems don't exactly merge, but they do kind of connect over the middle of the country. Rain in the east, snow in the Rockies, and we're starting to clear off here in Texas. And then those two storm systems do get their act together with significant rain from the Great Lakes southward, significant snow Thursday from the Midwest, Kansas, Nebraska, clear on up into Wisconsin. So we can certainly take the rain, but we do not want to have any more freezing fog like what we had last Friday. That was a disaster. Well, here's the WBAP forecast. Today, sunny and mild with a high near 61. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy and colder overnight with that front coming through, lows 35 to 40. It's going to be windy and cool all day Friday with a high of 47, lows 28 to 30 Friday night, but again, no precip for us. Saturday, a cool day, sunny with a high of 52. Sunday, partly cloudy, breezy, and warmer with a high of 59, and then we start looking at a new chance of rain on Monday. Thanks again for joining us for the WBAP 820 570 KLIF Weather Podcast. Enjoy the weekend. Keep your umbrella handy for Monday and especially Tuesday, and we will see you next Thursday right here. Bye-bye. Hello and